So this is the Senate.
Bobby, you're making yourself look retarded. Bobby.
Still searching. Hi. Whoops. Hey. How are you doing here? How are you? Not too bad. Oh, I got it. I didn't see this. Hi. Oh, you got it. Good for you guys. Awesome. That's so awesome.
No, I want a female that can.
Greetings, greetings. Hello, Grand Forks and the Boundary. Happy to be here. Welcome, welcome. Right now, we're just going to start with the song just to get everybody woken up a bit and cheer and warmed up or whatever you need to do. This is called the Women's Warrior Song. It was given to us by, or shared with us by a grandmother, a Lillooet grandmother, and it's for all women, warriors. So let's sing loud. Sing like a warrior. Invited an elder here today to start this off with a prayer, and she couldn't make it, and she was going to send me the prayer, but I didn't receive it. So if we could just all join hands, say a prayer together for everybody. Okay, hold hands, boys. Come on. Devlin. What? Go down. Big circle.
You want to come by me, Devlin? Come over here between Jean and I.
Okay. Join hands, please. Close up the circle. Let's get to the circle. Join hands. Creator, grandfathers, grandmothers, bless all the people that are here today, their families. Watch over all the travelers, watch over the children, the animals, Mother Earth, and all the people of this globe. Watch over everybody, bless us all, and keep us all living in harmony, and keep existence peaceful. Hi, hi, all my relations. So my name is Jo White. I am the Resource Center's Program Coordinator. I'm also the Boundary District Art Council. I'm also part of the Métis Association. I'm also part of the Circle of Indigenous Nations. And today we gather together for equality and injustice. And I just want to do things peacefully because that's what it's all about. So I'm really happy to see everybody here. I'm not going to talk much. I'm just the person that, gets you together. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Samantha Sam Mercer White, speaking for Aboriginal women. So Sam, thank you. Sorry, I couldn't get a microphone, so you got to yell.
So nice to see so many people here today. This march just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So nice to see because we're all here for the same reasons. Equality. When I think about equality, I automatically think equal, which we all are. We're all equal in our genetic makeup, in the rights we deserve, in the way we all die, and the way we all deserve basic necessities of life. But equality doesn't mean fair or just. Equality is if we're all born with the same opportunities, the same needs, the same skills, and which we are not. We're not all born the same. We're all born unique and wonderful. Some of us will never go hungry. Some of us will never have to worry about the cost of education. Some of us will never have to worry about time or money. Some of us will never have to, we'll have the opportunity to read to our children every night before bed and attend every field trip and to take family vacations. And some will only dream of these things. Some will work their whole lives to give these opportunities to their children. And as they do, they will miss the first steps and the first words and the first day of school, the first date and the first heartbreak. And as they build these opportunities for their children will be losing so much more. And some will only dream of those opportunities. Some will only hope for health and the ability to move freely, ability to speak clearly and hear soundly. Some will only hope for one more day. And why shouldn't that one day be filled with adequate housing, good food, warm clothing, and a happy memory? If you just had one more day, what would you do with that one day? Would you want it to worry about your funeral costs, or back taxes, or debt? What you'll be leaving behind? Who will care for your loved ones? Or how your loved ones will be able to afford the basic necessities of life? Or would you want that good meal shared with good company in a warm house, free from worries and financial burdens? We all deserve these things. I don't understand why it's so hard to see, but I do understand that our society is changing. In the 1960s, the average wage was $26,000. Today we say here, and the average wage is $49,000. The average house back then was $12,000. The average house nowadays is $500,000. How are we supposed to achieve healthy, sustainable communities when we don't work together as one? Power in solidarity, power in sticking together and doing what is right, what is fair, and what is just. Thank you very much. I'm going to end this on a note about a Métis program that has just come out. It's called Sashing Our Warriors. And we want to see our warriors standing up for these rights, for women's rights, for children, and to end violence against one another. I see so many warriors here today, and we will be sashing them. Thank you so much for coming out. We all need each other's support. Thank you. I'm not sure how this works.
Okay, so you're okay down here then? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, I'd like to call Dara Sutton to speak on behalf of the Boundary Women's Coalition and whoever else she's speaking for. Did you want to use this or
No, that's super.
Okay, intimidating.
Thank you everyone for coming today. This is an amazing show of community support for what we need to do together and bring each other together in the face of unity and equality and making a difference in the community we live in, where we stand right now. So we gather in a place, a province that is renowned for its beauty and its disposal of women. When we think about the Highway of Tears, when we think of Port Coquitlam, when we think of all of the different pieces of our lives that are given outward and not coming inward, one of the things that we can remember is look to your left, look to your right, and see the people who are standing in solidarity with you right now in this moment. Think of the people that are standing with you day by day, every day of your life, every walk of your journey. We are very grateful for all of you who stand with us, and together we can make amazing things happen. We have a responsibility to the next 7 generations. What legacy will we be leaving for them? Again, look around the circle. What we will be leaving for them is great women, great people of all nations, all genders, all beliefs, all colors. We have an amazing opportunity in this lifetime. We have children that are being raised to believe in love and honesty and honor and respect and truth without question. Being a woman is sacred work in a world built to divide us. Be unapologetically fierce. Right! Woo!
Okay, next I'd like to ask Melissa Shulga to come and speak. Melissa's, are you the ED of Whispers?
Coordinator.
Coordinator of Whispers of Hope. Thank you, Melissa. Did you want to use the microphone?
I could use the megaphone. I could probably speak pretty loudly too.
Okay, just step forward and yell.
Thank you.
Some people want it.
You guys want me to use it? Okay, okay. Let's see.
It just stays on there.
It just stays on there.
Siren.
Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. How's this? Can everyone hear me now? Great. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. My name is Melissa. I am the Center Coordinator for Whispers of Hope. I am so very honored to be in that position, actually. Whispers is a place that really helps people. It provides meals throughout the week. It provides basic necessities to those who may not otherwise have it. And really, it's kind of become a place for those who are marginalized in our community. We see everyday people with everyday struggles, and we're there to come together and help them. We don't necessarily want to see people just survive. We want to see people thriving in our community as their authentic selves. And I think this is almost a symbol of what we do there as well. We see this unity. We see people coming together to overcome struggles. Unfortunately, one of the things that created this march is Trump. He's a really negative guy. He spits toxic information. He belittles people. It's deplorable the way he treats people. And yet, I almost have to thank him because he's become a unifying force for all of us. It really doesn't matter what our backgrounds are, how we identify, how we pray, how much we earn. We all have basic human rights that today are not being met. Like Dara said, look around you. Here you have allies in this struggle. We need to be working together, and there's a lot of work to do to overcome these injustices. Whether it's educating, writing letters, lobbying politicians, there's so much work to be done. So I would like to challenge this group in a way, not only to be working together, but through these negative people, the Trumps, through these negative events, let's seek to find positive meaning and those unifying forces that will bring us together to overcome our oppressions. So please, and I know it's hard, stay positive, work together. We can do this. We can make a better future for ourselves and our families. Thank you very much.
Okay, next I'd like to invite JJ Berrigan from the Boundary Peace Initiative. JJ?
Okay. Good morning, sisters and brothers. And thank you for the invitation to speak. We're here speaking for the Boundary Peace Initiative, I guess because Laura Sabankov is having surgery. And we all wish her well and speedy recovery. But I just wanted to say that there was a reference to warriors. So I'm a wrestler. I'm a spirit wrestler. I'm a Doukhobor. That translates to spirit wrestler. And those of you folks that have been in this beautiful place for all sorts of reasons, the rights of women, justice, equality, peace, the environment, harmony, no doubt get a little bit frustrated. Because all of those values we all hold so dear seem so close on days like today when we're all together and standing in solidarity, and yet they seem sometimes so far away when we're divided, when we're turned against each other by those in power. And so I'm honored and grateful to speak to you today, and I just have a question to our women folk here. Why are you asking permission?
Who said we were?
You know,
Who said we were?
You know, we've been living through over 2,000 years of Christian history, 8,000 years of other history, and it's always been His story. And when we sing hymns. So women, you don't have to ask permission to take what is rightfully yours. Who can deny what we have not given? How can we as human beings deny the dignity of the other? We never gave it. How could we take it away? And that's the same as it relates to the power and the inequality that we see surrounding us today. As soon as we seem to be getting just a little bit of lift under our wings, how quickly we seem to forget where we come from. You know, I am no fan of Donald Trump, but I can also not be a supporter of a woman who seeks power to then say, "We came, we saw, he died." Women, we have seen the bankruptcy of the male toolbox. We stand here in 2018. People said last century that the new century didn't begin in 1900. It began in 1918. Why 1918? It was the end of the war. It took a great event like that to make people shift their thinking. I'm not trying to equate the election of the President of the US with an event like that, but maybe that is the catalyst that we need to bring us together, to remind us who we are, to remind us of who we can be if we get back to what we all hold inside of us. All of those good words you're going to hear so many times today. So don't forget them. And look at your toolbox, ladies, sisters, women. Don't use the same tools that have brought us to where we are today. If we do that, we will continue to see the triumph of the love of power. Maybe if we give our women, our sisters, a chance, we might see a triumph of the power of love. So women, please don't ask us men for permission. If you do, we'll make sure you never forget it. Because that's our sickness. That's what we have to recover from. Help us. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd like you to invite a young woman that kind of got this whole ball rolling last year. And her name is Kelly Davison. She's a mother and she's here to speak on behalf of herself. So how do I use it? Just press the button, I think.
Let me know if you can hear me. No? Okay.
Closer.
If I yell at it, it might work. Okay. So if it starts to hurt your ears, just cover your ears and I'll let go. All right. So as Joe White kindly introduced me, I'm Kelly Davison. And a friend of mine, Cheryl Cooper, and I last year challenged each other to see if we could organize the event. And it was a success last year. And I'm so grateful that Joe White has taken on the burden of organizing for this year. And look at the turnout. I'm so glad to see you all here today. So Joe asked me to speak on the subject of motherhood. And as you may know, as I'm shaking here, I'm not big on public speaking. And anytime I have, it's been as a community member or a union member or a young activist. So I thought about what made me feel passionate in motherhood right now in relation to this. And it's inclusivity and talking to our kids about that and how to model that. Now, I'm not here to tell you exactly how to parent or use your power in influencing children, but I have seen a lot of disrespect over the years and even lately from aimed at elders, elected officials, homeless, those who suffer from mental health and addictions, teens, even infants. And I'm asking you all to consider your position of power and just to have mindfulness around power. And that can mean anything from how many allies you have in a room when you speak and those who may exclude without realizing it, to the majority power that you have in the color of your skin or your status in society. So another important part, I figure, of inclusivity is making sure that our mothers and our children are supported. And there's so many resources in our community that I want to shout out to. From the Boundary Women's Resource Center, if you are feeling tired or stressed or worn out, there's the Glanville Center, Boundary Family Individual Services Society, the library, which has a safe space, public space and programs there to lighten the load and offer different perspectives. There's the Boundary Child Care Resource and Referral Center, adult mental health and addiction. There's a lot of options and I'm not going to cover them all. So I ask you all, as mothers or parents or anyone who is influencing the children around us in society, to model inclusivity, to be mindful of everyday situations and just try and include all members to discuss the effects of including people and the empowerment this brings to our community, and to empower your kids to be allies and how to choose allies carefully. Now, this was an important lesson for me, as I tend to talk over people sometimes or finish their sentences.
that being a good ally is a big part is listening. A big part is just being there for support and offering advice when appropriate or requested. But letting the person you're being the ally of speak for themselves and not to take that action on as your own or assume that you know what is best for them. So I'd just like to conclude with to ask you to be mindful of how you use the power you possess already to better our children, to support our mothers, parents, and everyone who has a position of power for our children today. And I also want to give a shout out of thank you for, I'm working today, but my coworkers have not kindly shuffled things around so I could use my lunch break to be here today. So I didn't have to choose between earning a living and speaking my mind. So thank you all for being here today.
Okay, now I'd like to invite Myrna Logan. She's the president of the Métis Association to speak on behalf of the Métis people.
Hello and welcome everybody from the Boundary Métis Community Association and Métis Nation BC. Unless you've been living under a rock, you will know that Indigenous women in Canada are in a dangerous position. The statistics show that Indigenous women in Canada are more likely to become missing, murdered, marginalized, and typically we have done a missing and murdered women's march on February 14th. This year we have decided to join with this march. Part of what we want to do is educate people about the plight of missing and murdered Indigenous women in Canada. The Métis Nation BC has been working hard with government to, figure out what we can do, and some of the initiatives that we are doing is the Sashing Our Warriors campaign. The reason that we do a Sashing Our Warriors campaign is because violence against women is not a woman's problem. If it's done by a man, it's a man's problem. So we need to find the warriors. We need to find the warriors that are standing in this crowd to help us, to help train other warriors. When you hear a discriminating joke against a woman in a locker room, we need you to be a warrior. We need you to not laugh and nod. We need you to say something. We need you to stand up and be with us as we march. Here you are at our side, and we're so grateful. We are so grateful for the men that are already warriors. Our challenge to you is to, with your peers, make more warriors. Have more men become warriors. That is how we will end violence against women. Today we have some sashes, and we have some Aboriginal women here, Sam White, our women's rep, and Jean Lloyd, the vice president of our Métis Association, and myself. And if you are a man in this crowd and wish to be sashed, please come up and we will sash you if you pledge to help us with this education piece of making warriors out of all men. Tansy, all my relations.
So I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody or to invite everybody that I would like to have speak, because there's so many voices out there that are not being heard from today. So the one voice I would like to speak for is Mother Earth, our first mother. I look at what's happening around this world today and all of the things that are happening to our first mother, our only mother. Without her, she is our life source. We're on one earth. This is the only earth that we have. And if we can't treat our Mother Earth properly,
How can we treat each other properly as women, as men? We need to stand up for our Mother Earth. We need to stand up for her for the next 7 generations so that they can see the beauty that we see today that is slowly disappearing around us as we stand here. Things are happening on this world that are changing everything, our existence, and we need to stand up for her as well. So, like my sign says, respect existence or expect resistance. And that stands for all things. Is there anybody else that has something that they would like to say? We're open and we're listening. You could just say your name and just push the button and speak into the mic.
Hi, my name's Marilyn Hardy. I came from Manitoba to be here. I worked at the women's shelter. I was among the first people that they trained for volunteers. And I'm proud of you all here today because you're still at it. And I just want to say that my life has been affected too. I didn't know how much, but I've lost all my family because I stood up. I'm still standing up, and I hope you do too.
So I'm not sure about the sidewalks today. Things are pretty iffy out there. Our plan is to march, and I'm just going to leave it up to everybody. If you want to march, we'll march. And I also have refreshments and tables and chairs and all kinds of goodies set up at the resource center. We also have a lot of information there for people that want to help make changes and want to help be warriors and support all people, all nations, all genders, all children. Thank you. So we're going to sash some warriors here, so maybe we'll do that. We'll sing the humility song because that's something that we need on this earth today is some humility. Thank you. You want to say something? Oh, I'm sorry. This is my grandson, Applin, and he wants to speak. Very good, buddy.
Women everywhere, stand up for your rights.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's a fun song. If you don't have a drum, you can just clap your hands. It's just a simple beat. And it's the humility song, and we're just going to honor all creatures and beings of this earth. And it's a simple song, so you can learn it real quick. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of Creator. We're gonna bend down low. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of Creator. We wanna know what she knows. We can raise each other up higher and higher. We can raise each other.
I said that already. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of the swimmers. We're gonna bend down low. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of the swimmers. We wanna know what they know. We can raise each other higher and higher. We can raise each other. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of our water. We're gonna bend down low. We're gonna humble ourselves in the eyes of our water. We wanna know what it knows. We can raise each other higher and higher. We can raise each other. Woo! Aha, all my relations. Raise each other up. Woo! Oh, we are saying, get back up. Oh, you okay, man? That's they need a lot of people. Conrad knows. Yeah.
Hey,